I just want to also just give some context to what happened on that evening. Prabhjit and Shahid have been part of the team of reporters from Caravan, which from February onwards, and I will again say it without mincing words, have been investigating the anti-Muslim violence perpetrated largely through the connivance of the BJP police and goons on the ground. And they have been investigating this unrelentingly. There have been a series of stories that have been done where all these charges that I am making have been laid out, documented, witnesses have testified. They've returned to that area over and over again without fear or hesitation. It's a pretty strong body of work that has reached this place. On that evening, that afternoon, they were there again as part of an investigation, a story which had begun with another complaint not registered at the Bhajanpur police station. Two of the women who went to register that complaint on an evening were, and they have said this on camera to us, that's available, were harassed and molested sexually in the police station by the Bhajanpur police station police. That same police station today, in a press note, the same police has given itself a clean chit, and which is what is happening with the Delhi violence. The police is giving its own conduct a clean chit on its own basis, without any investigation, without any claim to any procedure of law. So in this context, when they reach this gully, which is a public space, which had saffron flags, and they were taking photographs of the saffron flags which had been put up to celebrate the Bhumi Pujan that took place in Ayodhya. Slogans were taken out in that region, in that area, which has adjoining gullies of Muslims and Hindus. And one of the two women who had been molested had gone to complain about the slogans and the marching through their streets by these people on the day of the event. In that context, Prabhjit and Shahid and another reporter were there. When they started taking photographs in the street, they were surrounded by a mob. Please correct me if I get any of the details right. They were surrounded by a mob, which was aggressive. They were asking them what they were photographing, why they were there. I think at some point you called me up during that point of time, and we said,
they told us, okay, you have called up your editor to talk to the DCP or to the police commissioner. Nobody can touch us. These were their words, along with the duties. So after that, all that melee took place. What to do in between? Shahid was very bold. He remained firm and he was very assertive. Like me, he was also talking to the mob, looking into their eyes directly. Both of us were actually looking into their eyes, questioningly, assertively, and with the entire, all the presence of mind needed at that time. I really hats off to my colleague, rather both the colleagues for this.
So basically, जब हम लोग रिपोर्टिंग पे जा रहे थे, तो हम लोग जो ही एंकर के लेन में एंटर हो गए, तो वहाँ पे एक हिंदू फैमिली थी जिनका हमने पहले इंटरव्यू किया, और वहाँ पे सैफरन फ्लैग्स जो लगे हुए थे। तो जो इंटरव्यू खत्म करके जो है हम लोग लेन में जा रहे थे, तो वहाँ पे 2-3 लोग जो है वो बेसिकली लाइक वाइट शॉट्स दे रहे थे उसमें, जो हमारे न्यूज़ के लिए थे, वीडियो स्टोरी के लिए। तो ये जो बंदा जो सैफरन कलर कुर्ता और उसके हाथ में फ्रैक्चर था, एंड ही केम टू मी, सेड कि आप लोग क्यों फोटोज बना रहे हो, क्यों वीडियो दे रहे हो। तो मैंने बोला सर हम यहाँ पे हम किसी की प्राइवेसी के साथ टच नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम लोग बाहर स्ट्रीट शूट कर रहे हैं। तो उन्होंने हमसे बोला कि आप अपना आइडेंटिटी कार्ड दिखाइए। तो मैंने अपना आइडेंटिटी कार्ड दिखाया, और जब ही उन्होंने मेरा नाम पढ़ा तो वहाँ से जो है बेसिकली कम्युनल स्लर जो है मुझे मिला। उसके बाद जो है वो लगातार जो है मुझे ये बोलने लगा कि मैं आप जैसे कुछ पत्रकारों से बात नहीं करता हूँ, मैं उनको हर रोज़ पीटता रहता हूँ। These were the words जो वो बंदा जो है लगातार इस्तेमाल कर रहा था। उसके बाद मॉब जो है वो बढ़ता गया, और ये बंदा जिन्होंने अपने आप को आइडेंटिफाई किया बीजेपी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से हैं, वो लोग लगातार जो है लोगों को बुलाते रहे फ़ोन पे। उसके बाद जो है ये लोग जो है हमें पीटते रहे, और इनका एक डिमांड, पहले एक डिमांड ये था कि आप फुटेज जो है वो डिलीट करें। और मुझे एक टाइम पे लगा कि एक स्टेज जब वहाँ पे आ गया कि मुझे फुटेज जो है वो डिलीट करनी चाहिए, और मैंने वो कर लिया। उसके बाद जो है मैं उनसे ये भी कह रहा हूँ कि मुझे 2 बंदों से बात करनी, मैं सब लोगों से बात नहीं कर सकता हूँ। वो लगातार वो लोग नहीं माने। उसके बाद जो है मॉब जब बढ़ता गया, ये बंदा जो है जो बीजेपी को अपने आप को आइडेंटिफाई कर रहा था, मैं बीजेपी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से हूँ, वो लोग मुझे ये कह रहे थे कि आप लोग 4 लोगों से और बात करेंगे। वो लगातार जो है लोग भीड़ जो है वो बढ़ती गई। और उसके बाद जो है आई वाज वेयरिंग अ हेलमेट, मेरा स्कूटर जो है मैंने वहीं पे पार्क किया था। उसके बाद जो है ये औरतें, ये जो बंदा जो है वो बंदा जो है वो इंस्टिगेट कर रहा था लोगों को कि ये बंदा जो है ये मुसलमान है। मुझे हालांकि ये बोला गया कि कटवा मुसलमान है। हालांकि मुझे टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, मुझे कुछ सालों तक ये इसका मतलब नहीं था कि कटवा क्या है। और लगातार जब हम ये रिपोर्टिंग करते आ रहे हैं वहाँ पे, तो आई गॉट टू नो कि कटवा वगैरह जो है वो क्या है। और फिर उसके बाद जो है ये बंदा जो है वुमन को जो है, औरतें जो थी वो आगे उनको भेज रहा था। और उसके बाद जो एक औरत जो है वो उन्होंने मुझे मेरे जो बेसिकली कैमरा स्ट्रैप जो था उसमें मतलब बेसिकली स्ट्रगल करने की कोशिश की। उसके बाद जो बाकी मेरे लेफ्ट साइड में लोग जो हैं वो मुझे लगातार जो है वो पीटते रहे, और 10 मिनट तक वो ब्रेक देते रहे, और उसके बाद जो 2 मिनट तक पीटते रहे। ये लगातार जो है ये 1.5 घंटे चलता रहा। और उसके बाद जो 2 पहले पुलिस कॉप्स आए थे, एक का नाम एएसआई जमीर था और दूसरे का नाम दिनेश समथिंग था, जो हमने कंप्लेंट में लिखा हुआ। ये मेरी मतलब मैं ये पर्सनली कहूँगा कि दे ऑल्सो फेल्ट हेल्पलेस उस समय पे, ठीक है। फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने मोर कॉप्स को बुलाया गया, ठीक है। और जब हम ये पीटते रहे, मैं कॉप्स को बुलाता रहा, तो वो लोग नहीं आए, आ रहे थे मेरे बचाने के लिए। फिर उसके बाद जब और नफरी आ गई उनकी, और मुझे और प्रभजीत और हमें निकाला गया, और हमारी जो एक कलीग जो थी, वो लोग ये भी डिमांड कर रहे थे कि उसको यहाँ पे लाया जाए, स्ट्रीट में लाया जाए। और दोनों तरफ से जो है वो गेट्स बंद किए गए थे, हमें बाहर जाने की इजाज़त नहीं दी गई थी। जो ही मैंने एक बार कोशिश की, वो मेरा कॉलर जो है पीछे से पकड़ा गया, ग्रैब कर दिया गया मुझे, और वो लगातार जो है वो पीटते रहे। फिर उसके बाद जब हम पुलिस वैन में बैठे, ये मॉब जो है वहाँ पे भी आता रहा। उसके बाद रास्ते में जो है मतलब ये हमें एक चीज़ मैसेज दे रहा है कि बेसिकली लाइक वहाँ पे एक बंदा जो है उन्होंने पुलिस वैन को स्टॉप कर दिया, और पुलिस को ये पता था कि लाइक यहाँ पे सिचुएशन क्या हो सकती है। और 3 मिनट तक लगातार जो है वो पुलिस कॉप जो है बात करते रहे उस बंदे के साथ में। जब हम पुलिस स्टेशन पहुँचे, पुलिस स्टेशन में जो एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है, जब हम एक सीनियर कॉप के साथ में बैठे, उन्होंने जब हम कंप्लेंट लिख रहे थे, उन्होंने हमें बोला कि 1947 में आज़ादी मिली है, लेकिन असली आज़ादी जो है वो 5-7 साल पहले मिली। तो मैंने उनको बोला कि ये क्या बोल रहे हैं? तो बोला कि आप देखिए ना, लोग जो है वो पीट रहे हैं कि जिसका जो मन करे वो कर रहा है, ये तो आज़ादी है। ये रिस्पॉन्स था पुलिस की तरफ से।
Our third reporter is standing at one side, a gate is shut down, she is chased, sexually harassed a middle-aged man in a dhoti exposes himself to her. After that, she's chased down a group of 15 or 20 men and women in a different gully where other people are trying to help her, beaten brutally for a period of time. There is again a policeman there who does not help out, says that you please accommodate this amongst yourselves, settle it. A second policeman, because she is now alone and cut off from them, they have been taken to the police station, she is on those streets alone, finally takes her to the police station where she joins them. It is something that in one of the reports, one of the Muslim residents of the neighboring street said, and we must listen to what the echo of those words are. If this can happen to journalists who come here to report on this, think of the lives we live here every day in these surroundings. And this is the reality of the situation that we are in today, because we know we will talk about what the law demands, we will talk about what justice is, or what the idea of the media is, but we also know that we have very low expectations. We are not actually going to see this happen. It is not going to be delivered. The process is tilted. It is, as Shahid and Prabhjit have said, we are today being governed by the mob itself. This is what we are undergoing today, and I just want to read out what my colleague said in the end, or she has given a written statement. I've already told what transpired. She's put out the complaint in detail, so I think she just wanted to have a say on, and I think she said it very well. First, I want to congratulate my colleagues Shahid and Prabhjit for their relentless courage and determination in pursuing stories on the anti-Muslim violence in Northeast Delhi. I want to say that I am proud and will always be proud of being a part of the Caravan magazine. What I went through on 11th August is the most traumatizing experience of my life. But here, I want to highlight the courage of the Muslims of Northeast Delhi, especially Shannu and her family, whose story we were reporting. While interviewing these women about how the police molested them at the Bhajanpura police station, they recounted the ordeal they had to face from the locals, police and media. Their courage in facing all this was an inspiration. Shannu and her daughter are an inspiration for me. Shannu's young daughter seemed exhausted, but she was fearless when she asked if she would speak on record. Her eyes were bright, and with a faint smile she said, "I am not afraid of speaking out the truth. There is nothing more courageous than this." Many Muslim women who reside in North Ghonda came out to help me and bravely asked the Hindu mobs to back off as it was attacking me. I urge all the journalists out there who are not afraid of taking on this increasingly fascist government to report more on Muslims of Northeast Delhi and document the bravery. I also thank my editors and colleagues who are supportive and courageous and from whom I learned good journalism at a time when the media is in such a dark state in this country. Shannu kept repeating the word insaf to us with tears in her eyes. It is still reverberating in my ears. As the media, we should do our duties fearlessly and pledge our solidarity to the brave women who are fighting for justice. This incident won't deter me from pursuing many more stories like this, and I am not afraid to do so. I thank my friends, colleagues and editors, all who stood by us. And in the end, I think that's all as journalists we can say. In the end, the attack was meant to deter us from doing the stories that we are doing, and that is what we should not stop doing, that we will not stop. Thank you.
So at one level, what we are seeing today is a virtual collapse of the rule of law on the streets. You have lynch mobs who freely roam the streets, beat up journalists whose journalism they don't like. They beat up people from the minority communities. They beat up people who speak against the government. This lynch mob, which is there on the streets, is also there on the social media. As we see the kind of vile abuses and threats which are issued day in and day out on such people, especially people who speak against the government or who speak freely and openly about what is happening in our country. In particular, people from minority communities, hate and poison is being spread through the social media, and unfortunately this lynch mob on the social media, I mean, Prabhjot told us that there has been no condemnation by the ruling party about this incident. They have not disowned it, they have not condemned it. And as Swati Chaturvedi wrote in her book, I Am a Troll, this lynch mob on the social media is controlled by the Prime Minister himself. He himself directs who is to be abused, and all kinds of vile abuses are made by his followers who write on their, not just his followers, people whom he follows and people whom he invites for tea to his 7 racecourse residence, and they take photographs with him and put them up on their social media page. These are the people who are issuing such vile threats and abuses. And the same kind of lynch mob has now come to the mainstream media also, as we saw yesterday. I mean, what is this fellow Sambit Patra? He's just a vile abuser. And he's there, I mean, he's part of the lynch mob now in the media studios, in the mainstream media studios, and such lynch mobs are being allowed and encouraged by mainstream media, news channels and anchors, etc. And then you have the police, which not only stands as bystanders but sometimes participates in this violence. In the Delhi riots, the same police which is supposed to be investigating these riots or this so-called conspiracy involved in these riots have been seen on camera beating up people, throwing stones, breaking CCTV cameras to hide the evidence of the violence committed by them. And the same fellows, they were the people who went inside Jamia and beat up those students inside even the library and broke up CCTV cameras there. They were the people who escorted these goons into JNU and escorted them out after they had indulged in mayhem inside JNU. And the same police is supposed to be investigating into this conspiracy of the Delhi riots. I mean, the whole investigation is in the nature of a conspiracy to frame innocent people and to let off people like Kapil Mishra, who were seen on television, very clearly seen on video, clearly instigating the mobs, clearly threatening people. We have a very, very serious problem on our hands, which is a lumpenization of our culture by the ruling party, by those who control this government. It's a lumpenization of our culture, it's a destruction of our law enforcement agencies like the police and the judiciary. Unfortunately, you see, the judiciary also needs to see what is happening and play its role in stopping all this. But unfortunately, they have done nothing. So therefore, it's a very, very serious situation, and journalists, and if these kind of attacks, I mean, there is an attempt to just somehow browbeat the media, control the media by either first trying to buy them out. If that doesn't succeed, and if a few media people stand up and are not bought out, then there is an attempt to intimidate them by setting upon them enforcement agencies like they have done with NDTV, or to just beat up the reporters, which is what we saw here. So this is a very serious situation. If we all do not wake up now, then this is the end. Ultimately, you see, when the rule of law breaks down, and we know what happens to those societies just descend into chaos and violence, and ultimately everybody suffers. As Rahat Indori said, कि जब मकान जलाए जाते हैं तो सिर्फ हमारा मकान नहीं होता, सभी के मकान होते हैं.
Well, I just want to begin by saying that I've spoken here in this hall over many years, and so many of the people that have been sitting with us at this dais are today in jail. You know, what we are living through right now is a moment where a hate-fueled fascist ideology that was born here in 1925 has today been converted into actionable public policy. And that includes the annihilation of every kind of opposition. This means that in a democracy we are used to, let's say, 2 or more political parties fighting for power, fighting for to become the ruling party, but recognizing that in a democracy you do have to have an opposition, and that opposition does have a role. In a democracy you do have to have the media, you do have to have courts and so on. But what we are seeing now is the annihilation of, we are a one-party democracy, which is an oxymoron to begin with. But you've seen the conquest of the mainstream media in its entirety. Anybody who studies even superficially the history of fascism knows that all of it pivots on propaganda, all of it. And today, that propaganda machine is entirely in the hands of this Hindutva ideology. There are a few people who are not mainstream anymore, like Caravan magazine, like The Wire, like several other people who are just holding up, sort of pinholes of light. But even that is not acceptable. It's like if you're in a prison and someone comes in and says, oh, you have a little skylight up there, let me just nail it in, you know. So the idea of being unable to tolerate not just an opposition party, not just opposition among, let's say, some judges in a court, nothing, no form of dissent, even down to the last individual will be tolerated. And this is fascism. I mean, look at the irony of the fact that, do you know who people in the media were contacting for a comment on the violence against the Caravan journalists? The spokesperson of the BJP, Tejinder Singh Bagga, who beat up Prashant Bhushan, who came and physically assaulted me on stage when a book was being released. This is, and we are to continue the charade of appealing to them to give us a statement. You know, today the Caravan, this incident happened in Delhi. I know other journalist friends of mine, like people in Janchowk, who were attacked in the same area earlier in the same way. But think of what's happening to small people in small towns, journalists, or anybody can be caught and told to say Jai Shri Ram and then beaten up. And then that can go on YouTube, maybe even killed. So we are in a situation today where, I mean, Prashant ended his talk by saying we must wake up. I think everybody is very wide awake. Everybody is, you know. But what do we do? Like some people, even after you've come to a stage where people have been devastated of their livelihoods, people are starving, there's no work, and yet there's some amount of approval of this behavior. Yet we shouldn't forget that this massive majority in parliament has come to be because 17% of this population voted for it. 17% is a lot of people, but a lot of very vocal people supported by people right to the top. In 1936, after the integration of Austria into the Third Reich, Hitler dissolved the parliament and held fresh elections. He won 99% of the vote. You know, so we are a people who have, I mean, look at the stories we read every day about the humiliation of Dalits. A great section of Dalits has joined the BJP, but even in there, how they are being humiliated. Almost every day you read of people being forced to eat excreta and all this stuff, you know. Like, so we are in a situation of this will self-destruct, you know, as this hate-fueled ideology tightens its grip on every institution, as it attacks every individual that stands up against it. On the international scene, the big plates are moving, and these people have no idea how to conduct themselves on an international platform. So whether it is the people who support them or whether it's the people who oppose them, everyone will self-destruct. Everyone. Because this is a kind of tidal wave of destruction of every institution in a functioning society. It is not a coincidence that on the 5th of August, they also announced the National Education Policy, which just blows poor people, Dalits, OBCs, Adivasis out of the section of people who are going to be paid any kind of attention by the state. So all we can do is to, as Hartosh Singh Bal said, all we can do is to insist that we will do what we have to do and go down on this side. We will never be on that side. And yes, this is a new kind of Azadi. There is an Azad virus that's on the move, and there is an Azad hatred that is on the move, and which has made our streets, our very streets, a danger for anybody that does not agree with the powers that have installed themselves in every institution in this country. So all the more we must salute all the small outfits, media outlets, and even individuals who just have a little bit of steel in their spine and stand up and say, no, sorry, we'd rather go down, but we're not with you. Thank you.
Individual journalists and camera people did a splendid job in covering the Northeast Delhi riots as individual reporters, individual photographers. But they don't always, in the next day's story, you don't bring up the story of the last 3 days in one paragraph. That is the job of another department of a newspaper. I'm not familiar with television, but in a daily newspaper. We are not only the eyes and the ears that we are, and we continue to remain, and also be the conscience, but we also are people as journalists who intellectualize, who inform our readers. First thing, we inform our readers, then we explain to our readers, and then if need be, to our readers, we condemn what's going on, if it has to be condemned. Now, that last part of the role was completely abdicated by the media in February. Now what's being abdicated is, as the story of the Caravan, these very, very brave Caravan journalists tells us, that the chain of events which began not when the riots began in February. I mean, riots is a very polite way of putting it. Mobs fighting is a riot. But these are quasi-pogroms. So before that happened, a certain political atmosphere is created. People die, mayhem takes place. But from February up till the month of August, the dynamics of that chain of events have not ceased. They will continue. And as media, not only as watchdogs, conscience arousers of society, and explainers to society by putting pieces of the puzzle together. Otherwise, average newspaper reader, television viewer, he forgets, unless he comes across a striking image, So that's our job, and we are being stopped from doing so by important figures in our own news organizations. So please don't, bemoan the fact and just carry on with your normal lives. Go on to the social media, make use of it. I'm glad we spoke. I'm glad these young friends spoke, Shahid Tantray and Prabhjit, and very, very distinguished three people who spoke before me. So I thank all of them. Thanks, Arundhati. Hartosh. Yeah. And thank you all for being here.